Hey, welcome back to another Netcast. I'm Rich Lopez, Quantrix Authority. Sincerely appreciate you joining me today on the podcast for episode number 29, where I'm going to show you how to use a DataLink to pull in actuals from Access. This is actually a question asked by Mark from Hungary, and I'm really pleased to see that the Quantrix Authority community is reaching as far as Hungary, and I really hope that what I offer you today will help you out, Mark, halfway across the world, because I absolutely love Quantrix and think it's a powerful tool. So let's say, for instance, here that you have a pretty basic, or it could be a complex Access database, doesn't really matter, but I have here just a real small sample of transactions by region, by month, by year, sales, by part code, by part description, if you will. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to pull this into Access into using DataLink. So what I would do is I'd navigate over to Quantrix Modeler and I go to Data, DataLink, Create DataLink, and then I'm going to select JDBC, ODBC data sources, and I'm going to select a new configuration because this is the first time I've imported something from Access. I'm going to go to ODBC database connection, and then I'm going to select Microsoft Access 2007-2010 file. I'm actually using Office 2013, but this will work as well. So I go here, I then navigate to where the database is, and I can click Next, and it may prompt you for a password if your Access database is password protected, but mine's not, so it doesn't. And then what I can do is I can write some custom SQL. Traditionally, that's what I end up doing when I'm using my DataLink wizard, and I usually write that outside of Quantrix. But in this case, it's really simple. It's straightforward. I'm just going to select the table, and I really want to bring everything from it. So a double click will work for me, and I can preview my data. Yeah, it looks about like the way I had it in the Access database. I like it. I'm going to click Next. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it in as a two-dimensional matrix here. And strictly, it's really just looking like a spreadsheet, if you will, and really an Access table. So I click Next. You want to use the first column as row names. I do want to replace the data every time. I just want to blow out the table and reload it. I can choose to append it, but in this instance I'm just going to blow it out every time I refresh it. And then what happens is I get this matrix that looks very similar to what I have going on in Access. Okay? And it comes in as a two data matrix, and I'm going to rename this. I'm going to actually call this sales actuals, or maybe I'll just call it actuals underscore raw. Cool. And then once I do that, I then have a matrix here where I'm going to perform my calculations. I want to see sales by region, by year, by month. And I want to see actual sales, because eventually what I'm going to do is I want to build a budget off of this, and I'm going to show you how to do that because that's a further question that Mark had, but I will save that for another podcast here. But in order to get actuals to populate here from this data table, it's pretty straightforward, just a using as statement, sum using as statement. So I'm going to go here, actual equals sum of, what do I want to sum? I want to sum sales, okay, from the actuals table. And I'm going to be using items as categories. So using region as this category, region, and what else? Control Enter, comma. I'm going to be using month as this category, month here, okay? And month, I'll just type it. And then I'm going to be using this year as the year here, okay? When I do that, you can see that it populates with whatever data I have in here. So let's say that I'm going to be coming into month 4. Now in 2015, I'm going to be getting some actuals. And you can see I've got nothing in there. But if I go to my Access database, and if I were to do a refresh in real life or whatever, and let's say I put in Palmyra here for month 4 for 2015, and I do it, say, for 500 units or whatever that is, I'm going to copy that part code, part C, I guess is the name of that. If I were to do that, what I would then need to do in order to get that to refresh, I'd go up here to I believe this is Update DataLink button. I'd click on that once I had that, and you can see that this Power Mira populated here, and because I've got a formula there, Quantrix in all of its power and glory can go out and automatically update this formula, and I get 500 right here, which matches back to the actuals that I've been putting into my Access database. So that's how you bring in some actuals. Tomorrow I'll show you, or the next podcast I'll show a little bit more about budget, how to build out maybe an actual versus budget forecast model. Anyway, I hope that helps you out there, Mark, and if you have any questions about Quantrix, feel free to reach out to me at quantrixauthority@gmail.com. Of course, follow me here at YouTube and also on Twitter at Quantrix Author. I absolutely love Quantrix, and I hope you do too, and I want to make you a Quantrix master. So please join me again for another episode of Quantrix Authority with Rich Lopez.